Hi, I'm Bob Boross, and this is my Jazz and Tap Dance Life. And we're here again for another installment of Monday Mattox. Every Monday, I demonstrate one of the technique exercises of Matt Mattox. Matt is one of the legends of jazz dance, having had a tremendous career as a film and Hollywood film dancer in the 1940s and 50s, then as a choreographer and teacher in New York up until 1970s, and then finally moving to Europe, where he had another 35 to 40 years of influence on the burgeoning jazz dance scene in Europe. But one of his most incredible creations is his movement technique, which he calls freestyle jazz dance technique. So today we're going to do one of the isolation exercises. It's going to be a shoulder isolation, and this is very particular. Usually in jazz dance classes, maybe you do a shoulder up and down, you do a little circle, and that's it. Matt has a very particular way of moving the shoulder, and I'm going to try to explain that as best as possible. Of course, it's going to have a coordinated arm movement that goes along with it, and it will be followed with a short stretch. So here is a shoulder isolation exercise from the Matt Mattox Freestyle Jazz Dance Technique. Okay, so first we want to talk about how the shoulder moves. In many typical jazz dance classes, we just lift the shoulder drop, or we do some sort of circular movement of the shoulder, and that's about it that you'll do for shoulder isolations. And lots of times we think of using the top muscles, all right, the trap muscles on the top, and that pulls up, that creates a little bit of tension there. Let's talk about the structure of the shoulder a little bit. You have the collarbone in the front, or the clavicle. You have the shoulder blade in the back, and they both meet together, and then the bone from your arm inserts into there. So what we're going to do is, instead of thinking of lifting the top of the shoulder, I'm going to think of pushing from underneath my shoulder blade. So that's where the movement and the sensation initiates, from the back of the shoulder blade to lift and down. So it's a pushing up movement of the shoulder blade rather than a top-down grabbing and lifting feeling. All right, so that's what we have to find. So what we're going to do, if I just do that by itself, I'm going to push up in the shoulder blade, lift, and then from there out and push forward and project down, but keep the chest lifted. Then I'm going to lift up, bring that shoulder up by the ear, trying to keep your head straight, so you're not going to let your head turn, and then drop it down. Okay, so if I bring my arms to second, actually we do a little in movement, so I pull the shoulder blade in slightly, then lift, and up and over and down. As I do this, I keep that elbow bent and the palm forward, so I'm not going to turn and straighten. Then I lift up, the elbow will straighten slightly at that point, and then it will bend as I open up. If I start to the left, I retract the left shoulder blade back, I start to straighten that elbow, lift up by the ear and press downward in front, then lift up and then pull open to the side. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, left side, back, up, over, and lift. We'll try that again. And the right, up and over, keeping the palms still in space. We don't want to let the arm lift. We want to keep it still, and up, in, out. So that's our single shoulder isolation, retracting in with the shoulder blade, up and forward, up, in, and then pull out from there. Now what Matt always is known for is putting a coordinated arm movement that goes with that. So what I'm going to do is, as I work with my right shoulder, I'm going to pull my left arm in, fold, then I'm going to turn the fingers almost as if they point upward, then lift and stretch, and then open. As I go to the left shoulder, I'll pull the right arm in, turn the palm, lift, and open. So without the shoulder, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I add the shoulder, it's going to be right shoulder and left arm. So we're working in opposition. 1 and 2, and lift that shoulder, 3, and open, 4. 1 and 2, and 3, 4. So we're trying to keep the other shoulder down as the right lifts, and the same thing on the other side. We don't want both in the pull-up. There are other exercises where you will work both, but in this one, it's just a single isolation. So we have 1 and 2, palm, lift, and drop. 1 and 2, palm, lift, and drop. Again, 1 and 2, palm, lift, and drop. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's the shoulders and the arms. Now there's also a step over. I'm standing in jazz first, my feet are parallel, hips width apart. What I'm going to do is step over on 2. 1, 2, with a slight turnout, bring one knee behind the other, stay there, 3, and when I come back on 4, come back to parallel, 4. 1, 2, stay, 3, 4. Then I do the same thing but stepping in the back. 1, 2, stay, 3, 4. 1, 2, stay, 3, 4. It's a little bit tricky because the shoulder initiates on 1 to step on 2. The shoulder comes back starting on 3 and you step on 4. So they're a little bit overlapping. So I would have 1 step, 2. So I have right leg forward, right shoulder forward, and 3, come back, 4. 1, 2, and 3, parallel, 4. Now I'm stepping behind. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. As I'm dropping into the plie, I'm keeping this nice and centered. There is no release of the pelvis. There is no tilt of the pelvis. It's nice and centered in the body. Okay? Following that, we step the right foot back, stretching. I'm going to shift my weight into the back foot and do a contraction, straightening the front leg. I do a rib cage pop isolation to the front. Ribs in. Then I pull up to jazz first and releve from there. I'm going to hold, drop the arms down. Then we go into an easy stretch and 1, flat back 2, over 3, roll up 4. Then plie, lift the heels, releve, and come down. If I did that on the left, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, releve, stay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's the first version of the single shoulder isolation in the Matt Mattox technique. So let's put it all together, one straight through so you'll have it. Okay? So we have 1, step over, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. Now in the back. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Step back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chest in. 6, 7, 8. Stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, heels. 4, turn the palms. 6, left side. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, back 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stepping back on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6. Left foot to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Press it up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Demi-plie through the heels. Press 6, 7, 8. And that's the single shoulder isolation. Now there are many variations that you can add on to this, especially at the end. Your flat backs, you'll double it, etc. So many more things to go, but that's the basic idea. It's very particular in how the shoulder moves and how you move only one part of the body in the isolation and not let anything else be disturbed as you do it. So that's the single shoulder isolation from the Matt Mattox Freestyle Jazz Dance Technique. I'm Bob Boross, and this is my Jazz and Tap Dance Life.